For all the people that don't know what global warming is solar radiation that comes down that can't go back of carbon dioxide, and that's because of the atmosphere doesn't allow it because of the carbon dioxide. And then that gets to my knowledge question: can we trust the scientific community? The scientists have been discussing that back and forth, not sure if they believe that global warming is happening or not. So that goes, can we be the ones behind this? According to Dennis R. Dimmick, one of the National Geographic magazine, greenhouse gases have risen by 260% since the Industrial Revolution. Back in the 1700s, when the Industrial Revolution began, all these factors were beginning to go up and stuff. So then, a great example of it is these peppered moths. The trees were light, but then the gases would make the trees get darker. So then it was hard for the moths to camouflage in the trees. So then slowly they, by Charles Darwin natural selection, they changed themselves and would then be able to camouflage. But then later down, with all the ways to stop global warming, the trees went back to light colored, and it was difficult for the moths to camouflage it in. So it says that 90% of the moths are still dark, but that's where Charles Darwin natural selection comes in. That if you're better, you'll make it. So if global warming is happening, if you're better at it, you'll make it. And if you don't, you don't. Bruce, editor of the Daily Record, says a geologist is convincing Congress that carbon dioxide emissions are good for the Earth. He gives the reason that carbon dioxide in the air is good. The greenhouse fossil fuel is the one to blame for it. Carbon dioxide is 338 parts per million of carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere. You need 8,000 parts per million for it to be considered dangerous. So the only one to blame is the sun, the solar. Climate over the past 1,150 years tends closely match solar activity. So the sun, from 1960, was shown that the sun is actually moving away, and it was the only one to blame for it. At a UN climate change conference back in November, Doug Craig reported at the end of summer 2012, only a quarter of the Arctic Ocean was still covered in ice. With all the global warming happening, the glaciers would melt. In the Arctic Ocean, about 1.35 million square miles of ice has melted. That's 24% of the Arctic Ocean. That's about as big as the United States. So these polar bears would actually die because they live on the ice. So that gives emotional response. Oh, this poor fluffy animal is going to die, so global warming is happening. Tim Kern of the Washington Times argues that glaciers are formed by snow that gets compressed and forms a thick ice mass over time. This ice begins melting when the temperature rises and is again replaced by a fresh layer of snow. This process goes on and the glacier keeps getting bigger over time. So it says that glaciers grow bigger by the snow. These glaciers, he did a little scientific thing. In the area of Pakistan and China, in the Himalayas, the glaciers and the snow is actually not decreasing, it's actually increasing. It has been proven that 50% of the Himalayan mountains in between have grown much more, are steadily growing or advancing than melting away. And the UN has said that 50 billion gallons of water would be melted and the sea levels would rise. But that was proven false, and that they've actually grown. and they've grown. They did a research from 1988 to 2011 that the glaciers have grown 0.11 meters. And this, I believe, is confirmation bias because they've only searched in one area and not others, like they haven't searched in Arctic regions or other places. And this gets to my conclusion. TOK book conclusion clearly states from the correspondence theory that the truth cannot be determined in isolation. So, in 2004, Naomi Oreskes surveyed of 928 peer-reviewed papers. There was 12,000 papers from a set time from the early 1900s to 2011 to review them to see if global warming is happening. People and volunteers and scientists from around the world, United States, England, France, Italy, came together and reviewed every global warming paper twice, and scientists would go back and review their papers as well to see if global warming was happening. And they came up with 97.1% believe that humans are the cause of global warming. And another one was of Alina Bradford of IPCC, the link between human activities and global warming. More than 197 international scientist organizations believe that humans are the cause of global warming. So even though 11% of the world population believes that global warming is not happening, we are actually the cause of global warming with all our factories and things running. When our coal and all the other